everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me tonight. This is going to be a general reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the period of May the 1st to the 15th, 2021. So let's see what messages we have for Scorpio for the first half of May. The other readings have been very interesting. Lots of themes. Let's see what we get for Scorpio. Thank you. Oh boy, I can see some of those cards already. Okay, Scorpio, let's see what's going on here. All right, well, interesting, Scorpio. Okay, so what's going on right now in the present timeline for you is a situation where you're coming up against a bit of a challenge, and it's sort of time to be cautious, okay? And you're feeling challenged to be cautious. You're having a hard time being diplomatic. It's very interesting. You're having a hard time being diplomatic because it's almost like you feel, it's like 2-7 cards. It's interesting. You're having a hard time being diplomatic because you're feeling really like this sense of competition is real for you right now. You are really feeling ambitious, and you know that there's this inner drive to be competitive, and that it's almost like you feel you're feeling like your ability to be diplomatic, it's being challenged by this feeling of competition, okay? So it's almost like you have a very short fuse right now, Scorpio, and it's because of you're really feeling competitive, okay? And you really are concerned with public acclamation. You are really concerned with how people see you. So no wonder you're feeling competitive. You're probably in competition with people. And as a result, you're losing your ability to feel diplomatic. And you may be veering towards sort of being a little bit false because you're losing your temper, or you might snap and actually tell the truth about what you think, which might be interesting because you're feeling kind of competitive. Now, the other thing that's top of mind for you is this idea that you must move forward, okay? So you're on an emotional level, you know that you can't stay like this for much longer in this competitive area, that you're really in a loop here where it's like your actions, you do them, and then you wait to see if you get recognition. And then you get recognition, but then you probably also get people maybe copying you, or people taking your ideas and sort of maybe claiming them as their own, or maybe taking it to the next step before you did. And so then you feel competitive to create more, but you're creating in this cycle that's really just about competition with the other people who are doing stuff that you're doing. You know, maybe a similar field. Now, but on an emotional level, you understand that you have to shift this, that you must move forward from this, but you're resisting that. You're having a hard time letting go, but you know you need to. So that's good. It's good that you know that this cycle of feeling really competitive and constantly being in competition with others and looking for public recognition, that can't be all it is. And you're understanding that now, Scorpio. You're starting to see it can't just be about reaching public acclamation. I have to feel something else, you know, and you get that. So you know you need to be shifting that, but on an emotional level, you're finding it difficult because you're like, well, then I'm going off into the unknown. I don't know then if I'm not in competition with others in this field, then what am I doing? Okay, Scorpio. So what was going on for Scorpio? In the past, a relationship, there was a union that didn't work out in the past. And it looks like your sense of security in the future could shift as well. So you really are going off into the unknown, Scorpio. And you understand now that it doesn't matter what people think. All that matters is what you think. But you're feeling challenged by that. On an inner level, you're really feeling like you almost don't understand the transition you're going through. You know, it's almost like you don't understand what all of this has meant, you know, because at the end of the day, your sort of your focus has been on the outside world and how they see you, instead of really focusing on some of the lessons that you have been, some of the things that you've been experiencing have been teaching you lessons. And I think now's the time to start incorporating those lessons, because you're sort of finishing out a cycle. You're really finishing out a cycle, but I don't think you understand why it's finishing out. You don't understand why this relationship that's bloomed out in the past has fizzled in the future. And maybe it's because of this competition. Maybe there was some competition for you in the realm of this relationship. In terms of how the outside world sees you, they really see you as also sort of not, it's almost like the mask you wear is actually very similar to how you feel on the inside. You're pretty congruent here, actually. The mask you wear says, I'm missing the point. I didn't understand the point of what I just, you know, that last cycle that's closing out. I didn't really see the point of it. But you, I think, understand that you didn't see the point, in the sense that, like, your focus was elsewhere. Your focus was elsewhere, and so you missed it. You were focusing on how other people saw you, because your ultimate greatest sort of hope for yourself is that you'll always have a support network of really close individuals in your life. And from what I can see here is that in the past, there were a lot of relationships and unions in the past, friendships, romantic, what have you, but they all sort of took the same path. You know, started out really good, and then you discovered something, and then walked away into the unknown, and your whole sense of security shifted, and now you're starting to get competitive with others about this. And what's really required is a mind shift. What's really required of you, Scorpio, is for you to look inwardly and make a mental choice about. It's almost like I feel guided to tell you that you need to ask yourself, whenever you do something or have intention towards doing something, to ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to where I want to be? Is participating in this experience going to bring me closer to that, or is it pulling me away from it? This whole competition vibe going on here is not serving you. You're not able to focus on the true lessons, because your gaze is very much about, I want recognition. I want acknowledgement, promotion, recognition. And again, there is competition here. It's almost like, you know, that public acknowledgement comes with competition, and that the idea that you are in competition with people is blocking your ability to be diplomatic, and you may feel false. You're almost feeling like, I feel like you're sort of at your end of the rope here, you know, and you have to go off on a new path, and on an emotional level, you are resistant to that because it's unfamiliar and you don't want to. You're sort of like, I don't want to, but I know everybody's in this area. You just feel like you're in competition with too many people, or too many factors, or you're comparing yourself. You know, the competition may or may not actually be there, but you definitely see it that way. And the reason I say that, the reason I'm questioning your perception, is because you have two cards, your inner self and your outer manifestation, the mask you wear, both suggesting that you're being challenged to see the completion of a cycle and its necessity and the whole journey, as well as some truths about it, right? And you know, you really are wanting to have this close-knit group of people around you that are always supporting you, but you are just feeling really competitive. So this is going to be hard to achieve if you're always competing and comparing yourself, Scorpio. Now, ultimately, what the outcome for you is that you're sort of going to, again, you're going to resist this shift that needs to happen. This mental shift. You need to shift how you're thinking before you see a shift in the outer world, right? And you're just feeling too resistant to that. Now, I think it's because you haven't spent enough time reflecting. I'm surprised we haven't seen, maybe we'll get them in the oracle cards here, some cards about being in solitude, reflecting, and understanding the truth. I think that's what really needs to happen here. We got co-create and buy the book. So that is very interesting. These are very interesting cards for you because they both suggest, first of all, buy the book suggests the laws of attraction. Okay, buy the book suggests that you are working with universal law to manifest and bring things in here, okay? And co-create suggests that you are creating your path forward through the ideas of the stuff you focus on is the stuff you attract, right? What you believe is what will be. As above, so below. So if you are constantly feeling like you're in competition with people, then this isn't going to come. This is going to be really challenging. You're not going to find a soul tribe if you are constantly in competition or comparing yourself with people, Scorpio. You have to come to terms with the fact that that cycle needs to end. The World card upside down almost suggests to me that you've sort of missed the point of your journey a little bit here. You've sort of missed the point of it. And on the your outer manifestation, the mask you wear, the Hierophant in reverse suggests the same thing, is that there's some fundamental truths that you missed here. And you need to almost go back and look at some of these other things. Like we've got things in the past, we've got things in the present and the future where they're closing out. And you know it. On an emotional level, you know it. You're just feeling like you're in competition. It's almost like you don't think there's enough love to go around. And you've got to shift that. The final outcome card for you is the Ace of Swords in reverse. And so the Ace of Swords, the aces are very auspicious. And in the swords, it really suggests a beginning for you, but a beginning of mental conflict where you have to make a choice about how you're going to proceed forward. Are you going to proceed forward into the Two of Swords where you've got the blindfold on and you don't know what to do? Or are you going to proceed, truth be told, are you going to proceed based on the truth? Are you going to look at this and start studying the truths that you missed? You missed something. When you were looking over the data, because we're all researchers, you missed some biggies. You missed 2 big volumes of stuff. You missed the point of the journey, and that it's always cyclical, but you missed the point of it. And then you missed some big truths. You missed some really big truths. And you need to go back. You need to go back and look at these things again and then reevaluate your perspective. Okay? Because if what you really want is these connections, you have to stop thinking that you are in competition, with everybody. Right? You're not always in competition. Competition is a mindset. Right? The only person you're really in competition with is yourself from yesterday. And there's no sense in even being in competition with that part of yourself. Just keep being you. Just be present. Be present and enjoy what you're doing. See the truth for what it is. Realize that you are constantly working with the laws of attraction and that you are co-creating. So if you are constantly thinking that you're in competition with people and, that public acclamation is the most important thing, then it's going to be really hard for you to shift your mind about that. And you're going to have a tricky time with this mental choice. And, it'll be hard for you to be diplomatic and tactful because you're sort of at the end of your patience, right? You're done being false. You don't want to be false anymore. You just want to speak the truth about what you really think is, what you're really saying. But you're having a hard time doing that because you know that what the public will think of you if you do that. If you start talking truth about all these things that you're feeling, maybe you don't think you're going to be so popular anymore, which, is interesting. Maybe that's what's holding you back from making this mental shift, is because if you do make this shift and you do speak your truth and you do go back and realize these lessons, maybe you're just really concerned, Scorpio, that you won't be as popular, because you really are concerned about how the public receives you right now. Very interesting reading, Scorpio. If this reading has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading, my email is in the description below. And it's always nice to hear from you guys. Okay, thank you so much. We're going to leave it at that tonight, and we'll see you again real soon for some more readings. Okay, take care.